God guides me in a certain way where I think he gives me things when I am mature enough or ready for it. And I think some of the positions that I've had in the recent years, I don't think he would have blessed me with had I not got my stuff together. Really don't.
That's good.
And I think that we've all been in debt or had those struggles. You just have to find out what it is, find out what your number is, and then go from there. And then at that point, you got to put a plan together and we figure it out from there.
That's good, right? Because even as creatives, our job is to create things, right? To think outside the box. We're hyper focused on our next creation.
Yep.
We don't necessarily understand business savviness. We don't know how to run the business. We know how to have a concept. We know how to create that concept into a product. But once that product goes out to the world, then do we steward that? And that's one thing I struggled as a creative. I can make you some clothes, but how do I manage or steward that money once it comes in to continue making more clothes, to have a business, to have a brand? So that's one thing I struggled with early on is like, and honestly, I didn't care. When I first started, I was just hyped that someone was going to wear something that was a thought in my head.
That's got to be exciting.
I didn't care. I would just put the money in my pocket. I wasn't managing anything. I wasn't writing anything down. I was just like, that's cool. People are buying my stuff, right? But I wonder how better off I could have been early on if I was holding myself accountable financially, making smarter decisions. With again, I didn't grow up with that. Yeah. No one taught me that.
Nobody taught me.
I literally got married at like 25 and all my money was in a mattress. No, I'm not joking. I respect. She was like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean what I'm doing? Everything's paid for.
Right.
But I never grew up with that type of that financial literacy.
And I didn't either. And that's why I learned a lot of hard lessons. And I think that the problem is talking about money is kind of taboo, you know, like nobody in my household, my mother didn't have money to talk about. So what did she, when you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're working two jobs to put food on the table, how do you teach somebody about money? So it's just that simple. And it's a never ending repeated cycle if we don't put a foot down. I would ask people out there, especially anybody with children or kids, ask yourself, if you're stressed out about money, if you're stressed out about how you're handling money, ask yourself, would you want your kids to feel that way? And if your answer is no, then you got to make the change, because if you don't, they're going to do the same thing you've been doing. So that's just my thoughts.
No, that's good. And I wanted to try to break that chain, right? My wife and I wanted to break that chain of just being irresponsible by not teaching our kids. So our kids are learning early with debit cards and how to stay away from credit cards or what they do and